Since the beginning of time, man has been creating and stealing and claiming credit for each other's work. These stolen items used to be physical properties, like food, shelter, or the village's best paintbrush. But since the rise of personal computers, people can steal intellectual properties, like software, movies, or songs. In 2010, the Business Software Alliance estimated that the total retail value of pirated software was $59 billion. But there's been a trend recently in which many services online have been offered for free, like search and email. Do goods and services without an upfront cost eliminate piracy? Put another way, why would anyone steal something that's free? And would it matter? As it turns out, it does. For example, many Android developers choose to release their apps for free to encourage users to download them. Though there's no revenue from selling the apps, these developers make money by the ads shown. Our recent work has shown that some people are copying Android apps and re-uploading them to markets. They modify the apps so that they receive the ad revenue instead of the original developer. In this work, we examine two questions. First, looking at many copied apps across several Android markets, what trends can we see? Second, how much does app plagiarism actually impact developers? We built a series of crawlers that downloaded over 265,000 apps from 17 Android markets. We then used a tool that automatically clusters apps with very similar code, so apps in the same cluster that are created by different developers are likely copies. Which markets have the highest percentage of copied apps? The percent of copied apps of the top 3 markets range from 27 to 43%. The first is English, and the second 2 are Chinese. Google Play had one of the lower percentages. If you are the developer of a game, reference, or personalization app, you might want to be careful, as we found these 3 categories of apps are the most likely to be copied. Next goal. How does mobile app plagiarism impact developers? It turns out this isn't as easy as just seeing how many copies there are of a given app. The real impact of app plagiarism is how many users have downloaded and are using the copied apps instead of the original. So how do we determine how many users have installed these copied apps? Well, we don't have code running on everyone's phones, and we can't just ask a few thousand users, so we found another way. Ad-supported Android apps include an ad library that helps them display ads. When an app shows an ad, the request includes a developer-unique client ID, which tells the ad provider whose account to credit for showing the ad. So, we created tools to extract client IDs from our apps, and then partnered with a major 3G wireless provider to collect traffic from real mobile phones. Now, when we see a given client ID in network traffic, we know that app is being run. Here's what we found. On average, developers whose apps are copied lose 14% of their ad revenue and 10% of their user base to the copies. In summary, we discussed the markets with the highest concentration of copied apps, the most frequently copied app categories, and how to remotely determine which apps users are running on their phones. For developers whose apps are copied, we found they on average lost 14% of their advertising revenue and 10% of their user base. Clearly, there is much work still to be done in analyzing and reducing mobile app plagiarism. To help Android developers detect when their app has been stolen, we've created a website that allows you to upload your app and will compare it against the others in our collection. If you are an ad provider or an Android developer, we'd love to speak with you to help quantify plagiarism's impact in hard dollar amounts. Send us an email. I'll leave you with a word cloud of the names of copied apps. The results are based on our sampling of Android apps and network traffic at the time of study and may not be representative in other time or location. Side effects may be due to inaccurate clone detection, imprecise determination of the original apps, and incomplete capture of ad traffic. Talk to your security researcher before taking AdRob.